This is Cardano zoomed out on the weekly chart. There is something quietly loading that is insanely big. It is forming, and it has been for years, that most people are not talking about. This is something I've not talked about in quite some time. When it comes to this like macro bull thesis for Cardano, that value play thesis that I've been talking about so much, what I'm about to show you plays exactly into it. This is critical to the thesis. And let me just mention right off the bat, this is Cardano total value locked. That is what I'm talking about right now. But it's this data at the confluence of this chart setup right now that we need to pay attention to. I hope what I'm about to present to you gives as much clarity to you as it has for me as I was just kind of studying a lot of this data and what is actually forming within the Cardano ecosystem right now. So hit the subscribe and like on the way in. If you're not in our intelligence system, please check out our Cardano risk model, our other assets that we have, and our other risk models, our exit planners, our autonomous AI. Tons of updates coming. We have a 7-day trial going on right now. Before I dive into this data, and I'm telling you, you're going to want to see this perspective in relation to this bull market setup, the explosive move for TVL and for ADA value, ADA price. I do want to quickly mention that further into this video, I'm going to show you one of the top projects on Cardano, how you can earn very securely some very nice gains, and how this plays exactly into this whole total value locked conversation that we're having in this video. So stay tuned for that as well. I want to paint a picture on the chart. Many of you, if you've been watching my videos, you know I have this area that it's been so long now, tracking this area, $1.25-ish. It is the top of the bull market doors is what I call it. We got rejected back at this altcoin season fake out in November into December. What it is very simple. And this plays, by the way, this data on the chart plays exactly into the total value locked chart that I'm about to show you. But it's this rejection back here. And this was, for reference, like March 2022, rejection at the 20-week moving average. And then boom, we fell into the bear market. This exact thing happened in 2018 into the bear market. Rejection at the 20 weeks. So we get this nice bounce and then boom, we fall right into that bear market capitulation. Well, last cycle, it was the same thing. The top of the bull market doors, and I can't sit here and say I was calling this the bull market doors last cycle, but the data presents itself that it is, this 20-week moving average is so relevant to the reversal out of the bear market into a new bull market. This is the top of the bull market, or top of the bull market doors last cycle, around 40 cents. We're waiting for that to break this cycle, and it's around $1.25, this piece of data. Let me ask you a question. What do you think was the TVL, the total value locked on Cardano back here in January 2021? If we go look at the Cardano total value locked chart, you can see it basically starts in January 2022. Now, this becomes incredibly relevant as we start dissecting this data, because if we go back to the ADA chart, this means there was no TVL. There was no total value locked here in January 2021. When it comes to Cardano DeFi and everything that has just been built over the years, specifically in a bear market, there was no TVL. But so when did TVL come online? Well, January 2022, as we're entering the bear market. And shortly thereafter, here's the real bear market indicator, the 20-week moving average resistance, right? So we get TVL all in this area coming online. And now, right now, as we are waiting for this technical move above $1.25, the TVL explosive move is set. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. So if we go look at the TVL, I want to make a note of something. We're at like $401 million total value locked. And I want to start this. I want to show you a clip from Charles. This was not long ago. This is like the end of July. This is incredibly important to keep in mind as we're talking about total value locked, because I know the chart says 401 million, but listen to this real quick.
Where would we be on the list if we had a $14 billion TVL? If you count our stake that participates in consensus as TVL, our TVL would be $14 billion.
So do you realize that? Our TVL would be $14 billion. If I open up DeFi Llama and I go look at chains, right? This is like everything. You have to scroll down to see Cardano at number 20, because it's not including staked ADA. Cardano has the most brilliant, secure staking mechanism, which is liquid staking. It's on Cardano. It's not counted towards total value locked. because it's liquid staking. Now, if it was, guess what? He's mentioning 14 billion. Look where we'd be on this list. Right behind Ethereum, right? Ethereum at 94 billion. There's Solana at 10 billion. Cardano would be right up there. I want to preface this video with that. Now let's continue deeper down this rabbit hole. So put aside staking. We don't have that. We don't have that data. We don't have that advantage, which is there. It is real. Cardano technically is number 2. Let's really look at what's happening with Cardano TVL. And then I want to, as we kind of go through that, after that, I do want to talk about ADA price move to and through the top of these bull market doors right here. So I want to start, and I want to kind of break this down for you in terms of TVL. If you look at TVL on Cardano right now, you scroll down on this page, you see all these projects: Liquid, MinSwap, Indigo, Splash. Indigo is a favorite of mine. The innovations that they've been unlocking and the quality and the team that they have. I know the team. I know Eric and the team, just a stand-up team. These are the projects that are driving innovation that will skyrocket TVL. So what I want to do is I want to highlight Indigo, and I want to look at some of the things they're doing to illustrate how quickly this chart can explode to the upside, and that is the total value locked chart, and why that's so crucial for ADA value. So if we kind of start going down this little rabbit hole, I want to show this quick clip. This is from November.
There's a huge network effect and a huge asset pool, which hasn't been unleashed yet in Bitcoin. If you imagine Bitcoin DeFi growing to similar proportions as a sort of DeFi and Ethereum, we're talking about a DeFi ecosystem which is easily 4 or 5 times the size. This will strengthen Bitcoin's network effects even further. It will introduce new ways to use Bitcoin, so Bitcoin is going to become far more useful as an asset.
Do you realize this? We're talking Bitcoin here. We're talking Bitcoin at the confluence of Cardano. Cardano, at that time, Cardano is Bitcoin's first layer 1 DeFi layer. But at that time, current TVL was 231 million. So actually, even since November 2024, Cardano TVL, we're obviously at 400 million now. But what he's mentioning is unlocking Bitcoin DeFi. Guess what's going to do that? The security of Cardano. But on a actual meaningful level, let's define what that means. How is that going to be done? It's going to be done with project like Indigo. Indigo is leading the way in this regard. And it really is. I'm going to break down kind of how that is. I want to say that Indigo is not like just another DeFi platform. It's kind of becoming, and you're going to see this, is becoming like this foundation layer for advanced DeFi on Cardano, including Bitcoin. So here's Plutus over here. Looks like Bitcoin and Cardano cooking with Indigo. So this is Eric, the founder of Indigo. By the way, this was days ago. We just got some news from IO and the team that, or the team building out their solution for Bitcoin DeFi. Rare Evo was a productive event for us from the looks of it. Now, what else was said? Here's also what Eric said. Let's just say it's officially funded and will involve Indigo even more strategically than we already were. So basically, IO is pushing hard, right? IOG, the developer behind Cardano, they're pushing hard to fund Bitcoin DeFi. And guess who they're working with in this regard? It is Indigo. So let's continue down this kind of path. This is Bitcoin DeFi. Indigo is bringing it on board. This is a video from June 2nd, but check this out.
Utilize your Bitcoin MD5 without the need to ever sell it. Maintain your ownership, safety, and 24/7 access at all times.
So their platform, right, and they're demonstrating a very simple demonstration in terms of Bitcoin and utilizing Bitcoin. Their platform is this kind of platform that is going to unlock everything that we just looked at, everything that we're talking about in terms of Bitcoin DeFi being unlocked, right? Do you realize how large Bitcoin is? And it's coming onto Cardano chain. And Indigo is kind of presenting the path for that. So in relation to Indigo, when it comes to looking at the TVR explosion that's going to happen, and by the way, everybody, all these projects over here are pushing for innovation. And we're going to see TVL, I think, across the entire Cardano ecosystem explode. But the TVL of Indigo right now at 53 million, if they're unlocking and helping unlock, and IO is helping in terms of like this massive DeFi push, Bitcoin DeFi push, if Indigo is the go-to platform and it's at 53 million total value locked, What do you think this is going to, what do you think the trajectory of this TVL is going to be? Not just for Indigo, but what's that going to do for Cardano TVL? The other thing is, when it comes to just, hey, you know, Bitcoin CDP on Indigo, unlocking Bitcoin DeFi, Indigo has built Chakra agents, and you're going to start hearing about this so much. They basically what they're doing is they're allowing personalized AI agents that you can go build to manage all of that Bitcoin DeFi, the CDP stuff automatically on chain in a secure manner. And you can kind of get a glimpse of it here. I'm not going to show you a clip, but that's what's going on. And with all of that being said, is it real? Like, is it really happening? Look at this. This is Rob over at Digital Asset News. So again, this is tying directly into the Cardano thesis, the TVL thesis, and a project like Indigo is basically driving this entire narrative and technology. So check this out. This is Rob over at Digital Asset News, huge content creator, just such a cool dude.
That's not the
Check
big
it.
thing, but I'm working with them and Chakra to put an AI agent for my Airbnb and Burble accounts, because
so Indigo is leading this charge with Bitcoin DeFi, but realize it's not just Bitcoin DeFi. It's not just real world assets and RWAs. It's AI. So now we have the confluence of all of these things that Indigo is building right now. And you have somebody like Rob who's integrating this technology and this innovation into their Airbnb. What does this use case do for Cardano TVL? So these are all of the things that are going to play directly. This is on a zoomed in micro scale, everybody, when it comes to this very important chart, which is Cardano TVL. This is incredibly important stuff. But right now it's all coming together. And if you go over here into their platform, and I want to make a note of this, they're making a massive marketing push. So I'm presenting all of this data in relation to what Indigo is doing. They've been building quietly for years, everybody, like the most polished team, not just in Cardano, but in crypto. They're just an awesome team. They're making a massive marketing push. I want to be very clear about this. They just introduced the Indigo affiliate dashboard and Indigo affiliate marketing campaign. Basically, it was voted on by the DAO and Indigo. But what they're doing is they're making this marketing push to present this data through affiliates, right? I have an affiliate link in this video. And what it's going to allow is for someone like you, if you're interested in Indigo, come back here. There's so much you can do back here, by the way, in relation to Cardano DeFi, CDPs, all of these things, stability pools. But from the very simplest level, right now, if you look at their staking, Indigo staking, if you stake their Indy token, look at this, ADA rewards, 7.56. Indy rewards, 8.09. So historical returns annualized is an approximate calculation based on historical performance. This isn't like a guarantee, but this is what we're looking at in terms of the data and in terms of returns back here. And I'm actually just going to demonstrate right now. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to connect my wallet. So I'm all connected. I'm going to go over here to the left and I'm going to click on swap tokens. I am going to I just moved some Cardano into this wallet. So I'm going to do 10,000 ADA. I'm going to swap it for Indy and I'm going to swap. All right. So it's confirmed. I just swapped it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over while that processes to Indy staking. So I'm going to go over here into Indy staking. I'm going to go over into this deposit area. So now that I just swapped ADA into Indy very simply within their platform, and I'm just going to stake 100% of it, deposit it, confirm. So now I have all of that Indy staked in the Indigo platform very securely. And we have these rewards that are just very much passively in play. What I want to make a very strong note of right now is there's ADA rewards that you're getting for staking. But then there's also Indy rewards that, this is important. There's a governance tab over to the left in the system. When you click governance, like I think within 90 days, there are these proposals that you can vote for. This is what you want to make sure you do in order to get the governance Indy rewards through staking. So it's so simple. You go back, you see what proposals are in play, you click vote. So I'm going to vote yes on this one and confirm. You'll sign the transaction. And then boom, confirm vote, and you're good to go. And that's very important in relation to the Indy staking and those Indy rewards. So right now, what you can do is you can click my affiliate link. What they're offering on top of all of this that you see here is if you use my link below and you do something like this and you're staking Indy, you get 5% after 90 days of staking. You get an extra 5% in terms of rewards. So use my link below. And I want to just shout out Indigo for this system and the team that put this system together, because it's massive. It's not just massive for Indigo and Indy holders, but it's just massive for the very thesis of Cardano. It's very massive for this fundamental growth in total value locked, because it's spotlighting what is like the most innovative project on Cardano. So it's just a really nice move that they did this. And if you are interested in Indigo, use my link below and you get some nice, 5% rewards on top of what's back there. So that's Indigo as a platform. So to draw this all back together, this ties exactly into this massive TVL explosion that we're talking about. I know we talk about so often Bitcoin DeFi is coming onto Cardano, and it's always been kind of like, well, what's that going to look like? How's that going to happen? I just presented that to you. I just showed you the dashboard within the Indigo system where a lot of this is going to take place. So now here we are. What do you think happens when we start seeing TVL explode as innovations come on chain, on Cardano on chain? Well, we saw what happened without any of that last cycle, right? So there are no guarantees, but when this bull market door breaks around $1.20 to $1.25, I think there's going to be so much at play right now when it comes to total value locked. Indigo and even the timing of what they're putting together, Chakra agents coming online, the timing could not be any better. And this is after years of building. Remember, TVL came online back here in like January 2022. We've come full circle now to the bull market doors. So in relation to short-term price action for Cardano, I wanted to mention a couple of things. We have Cardano testing the short-term area, which is this kind of inverse head and shoulders looking pattern. And we already got resistance yesterday. What's interesting is Cardano's trying to make a push for it towards the upper end of this neckline area. And that is around 98 cents. We're at 94 cents as I do the video. It's meaningful, not only because ADA has this massive macro target up here, which is a huge structured catalyst for Cardano around $1.80 to $2, but what's in there? Exactly what we talked about through the entirety of this video, even as it plays into TVL data. Here's what's in there, the top of the bull market doors. So if ADA breaks out of this structured move, we could see ADA testing the top of the bull market doors once again. Maybe we get rejected, we come back down for a revisit below $1 again. I don't like saying it. And then we're making a move to the upside. I don't know. Maybe we get rejected here right now. We're going back down. We're testing higher low areas. We're back in the 70s. I'm tracking price action. I'm trying to kind of remain unemotional in that regard. We all want a Cardano breakout, but we know how this price action has gone lately. So we're going to just see. We have to remain patient, but I'm absolutely tracking the short-term area because I know it's just like, it's just 98 cents, $1 just yet again. But I think this time is meaningful because we'd be breaking out of all of this structure with a target well above the bull market doors. So this could be the bull market door breakout. So these are my thoughts today. Just appreciate you cruising through. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the subscribe, hit the like. I will see you all in the next video. God bless.